You don't want chaos. At least, that's what you tell yourself. You want peace, stability, balance, a life that makes sense, that stays steady, that doesn't keep slipping through your fingers like sand. But your life? It tells a different story. Your relationships? Dramatic. Your habits? Self-destructive. Your thoughts? A never-ending loop of overthinking, guilt, adrenaline, craving. You attract the storm again and again. And every time it hits, you're left standing in the wreckage, asking the same desperate question. Why does this keep happening to me? Here's the uncomfortable truth, the one you've been dodging your whole life. You don't attract chaos by accident. You crave it. Deep down, in the parts of yourself you don't dare look at, you're drawn to the fire, the mess, the wild unpredictability of it all. And Friedrich Nietzsche, that fierce, untamed philosopher from 150 years ago, saw it coming. From his solitary walks in the mountains, scribbling thoughts that burned through the pages, he understood something about you that you're too afraid to admit. Chaos isn't just following you, it's a part of you. It's your mirror, your shadow, your unspoken desire. Why does your life keep unraveling? Why do your plans collapse, your connections fray, your moments of calm explode into storms? You tell yourself it's bad luck, other people, the world being unfair. But let's be honest, there's a pattern, isn't there? A thread of chaos that weaves through your choices, your relationships, your very thoughts. You're not just stumbling into it, you're calling it. You're holding the match that lights the fire. And Nietzsche, with his piercing gaze and unrelenting voice, would ask, why are you so afraid of what you crave?
We're taught to fear chaos. It's the enemy, the thing that happens when the plan fails, when the structure breaks, when you lose control. Society tells you to avoid it at all costs. Get the job, get the partner, get the house, stay still. But Nietzsche, he didn't see chaos as something to run from. He saw it as the raw material of life itself. He wrote, one must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star. Think about that. He's not saying chaos is your enemy. He's saying it's your fuel. It's the spark that births something new, something alive, something you. And deep down, your subconscious knows it. That's why you keep going back to the ex who breaks your heart. That's why you pull the pin on your own success just when things are looking up. That's why you create tension, stir up drama, sabotage the calm, because peace feels sterile. Peace feels like a cage. Chaos feels alive. It's where you feel the pulse of your own existence, the raw, untamed energy of being human. But that drive, that craving, comes at a cost. It burns, it breaks, it leaves you standing in the ashes, wondering why you keep doing this to yourself. Nietzsche saw this in the clash of two forces within us, the Apollonian and the Dionysian. The Apollonian is your need for order, for clarity, for neat little boxes and predictable outcomes. It's the part of you that makes lists, plans your future, dreams of stability. But the Dionysian, that's the wild fire in your veins, the untamed urge to break free, to lose yourself in passion, to dance on the edge of the unknown. And here's the kicker, you can't have one without the other. The more you cling to the Apollonian, to control, to safety, the louder the Dionysian screams. That's why your life keeps spiraling. You're trying to silence the chaos, but it's not going anywhere. It's who you are.
Look at your life. Really look at it. Notice the patterns. You chase people who destabilize you. partners who pull you into their storms, friends who thrive on drama, connections that leave you drained. You provoke tension just to feel something, picking fights, stirring up conflict, pushing buttons when you could just let things be. You romanticize suffering, wearing it like a badge of depth, telling yourself it makes you real, it makes you interesting. But let's call it what it is: self-sabotage. You're not just stumbling into chaos, you're creating it. You're lighting matches in a gasoline life just to watch something happen. Nietzsche called this the will to power gone inward. The will to power isn't about dominating others, it's about mastering yourself, about channeling your energy to create, to grow, to become who you're meant to be. But when you turn it inward, when you let it fester, it becomes destructive. You create disorder not because you're broken, but because fighting feels alive. It gives you a purpose, a role, a reason to keep going. And when you lose that fight, when the chaos overwhelms you, you call it fate. You tell yourself it's just how life is. But Nietzsche would call it design. You're not a victim of chaos, you're its architect. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself why you keep doing this? Why you keep choosing the people, the habits, the thoughts that pull you back into the storm? It's because chaos gives you something order never could, a sense of being alive. When everything's calm, when the world is quiet, you feel the weight of your own emptiness. You feel the questions you've been avoiding. Who am I? What do I want? Why am I here? And those questions terrify you, so you run. You run straight into chaos because at least there you don't have to face yourself. At least there you feel something, even if it's pain. Society loves to sell you the myth of the safe life. Get the degree, the job, the partner, the house. Follow the rules, stay in line, be predictable, be good. But Nietzsche saw through that lie. He called it the morality of the herd, a life designed not for you, but for the masses, for people too afraid to question, too afraid to live. He wrote, "He who despises himself still respects himself as one who despises." Think about that. Even your self-hate has structure. It gives you a role, a loop, a way to keep going without ever changing. It's safe in a twisted way because it's familiar, but it's also a cage. You say you want calm, you say you want peace, but when it's handed to you, what do? You break it. You light a match and watch it burn, because calm feels like numbness, and numbness feels like death. Chaos, for all its pain, feels real. It's where you feel the edges of yourself, the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are. And Nietzsche would say that's not a flaw, it's a feature. You're not meant to sit still. You're not meant to be tamed. You're meant to evolve, to create, to burn through the false and find what's true. But here's the problem. You're doing it unconsciously. You're letting chaos run the show, letting it pull you into cycles of destruction without ever asking why. You're not transforming, you're just burning for heat. You're chasing the storm without a plan, without awareness, without purpose. And that's where Nietzsche's genius comes in. He didn't believe in avoiding chaos. He believed in integrating it. He believed in becoming the storm, not just surviving it. Nietzsche's most famous words cut to the heart of this. Become who you are. It sounds simple, but it's the hardest thing you'll ever do. To become who you are, you have to break who you were. You have to let go of the masks, the roles, the illusions you've built to keep the world at bay. And that process, it's violent, it's messy, it's chaotic. It's why you crave the storm, because some part of you knows that the fire burns away the false, that chaos is where the new self is born. But here's the catch. You can't just keep lighting fires and hoping for the best. You have to make chaos conscious. You have to stop running from the storm and start channeling it. Nietzsche didn't fear the dark, he named it. He looked into the chaos of existence and saw not just destruction, but creation. He saw the raw material of a life worth living, and he's asking you to do the same. What would it look like to embrace the chaos, not as your enemy, but as your teacher? What would it mean to stop labeling it as bad, to stop seeing it as a mistake? Chaos is information. It shows you where the cracks are, where your life isn't aligned with your truth. It's in the fights you pick, the people you chase, the habits you can't break. It's in the moments when you feel most lost, most alive, most afraid. That's where you find the raw material of your transformation. So how do you do it? Start by watching your patterns. Who do you text when you're bored? Who do you run to when you hate yourself? What do you do when the calm feels too heavy? Those are your clues, your map to the chaos inside you. Next, channel it. Don't just feel the storm, use it. Write, build, move, create. Transmute the energy into something that serves you, something that grows you. Stop destroying for the sake of destruction and start creating for the sake of creation. And then ruthlessly audit your peace. Is it really peace, or is it just numbness? Is it stillness or stagnation? Are you calm because you're free, or because you're too afraid to move? Nietzsche would tell you that true peace isn't the absence of chaos, it's the mastery of it. It's the ability to stand in the storm and say, "This is mine. I choose this."